I found this article when I was trying to look for more material to continue the service dog sagas. This was on a cruise forum, and the title of this is what really got my attention. It's titled, "Disney Banned My Service Dog After Allowing It." And I found this interesting because this is simply what the future is going to hold for service dogs, because they are a joke at this point. In the year 2023, there's no reason to be using a service dog anymore. This was written in 2018, but we'll get to her alleged service dog and what service it provides for her. So she writes, "Hello, I am new to these boards, but not new to cruising. Forgive me if I'm posting this in the wrong area, but I need to make others aware of what happened to me so it doesn't happen to anyone else. I'm disabled. My disability is neurological and goes in and out of remission. They don't really go much further on the neurological disability. I relied on a wheelchair for many years until finally obtaining a service dog to assist me." And notice how she doesn't mention what the service dog does. So she had a wheelchair and a dog somehow replaced the wheelchair? This person has never heard of motorized wheelchairs. I don't want to make too many comments while reading this, but it's so hard not to just dissect every single sentence they say. But I'll continue. "I have read many years worth of reviews on Cruise Critic, thank you all, as well as talked to many passengers aboard about the 30 cruises I have taken who have service mutts. I felt confident that obtaining a service mutt would give me more freedom to myself and my husband to enjoy life in spite of my condition." She's not going to mention what the dog does or how it's improved her life. "I booked my first cruise to be taken with the service mutt. It was aboard the Disney Wonder for February 2018. The representatives were amazing at adding my service mutt to my C-Pass and calming my nerves that everything is all right, and gave me the go-ahead to board with the service mutt. I then asked a question out of curiosity, and that was, can we get off at the ports, or do I have to remain on the ship with my dog because I don't have a permit for the Bahamas? I was given the number for special needs Disney and encountered a huge problem that almost cost me the life of my service mutt. Aww. I was told my service mutt cannot board without all the permits for the islands. Makes sense. Customs will confiscate, quarantine, and possibly destroy the service dog once they find out there is a service dog on board a ship in their waters. It doesn't matter if we were remaining on board and not stepping foot in Castaway Cay, Disney's private island. I was told that because we are in their waters, they need a permit to remain on board, and customs will board the ship and confiscate the service mutt. I was also informed that I will never be able to cruise to Barbados because they don't recognize service dogs and will confiscate any on board the ship in their ports." That statement is beautiful. And I feel like this is going to be the future for service dogs because they're a joke at this point. Sooner or later, the ADA is not going to recognize service dogs as valid medical equipment when they realize that people are abusing these laws. And in light of modern technology, you don't need a service dog. Nobody needs a service dog. The people that do, they're just dog nuts with disabilities that are using their disability to bring their dog everywhere. I was mortified that I came so close to having my service animal destroyed after being assured we were all clear to sail. I wrote a letter to Disney corporate and was contacted by them. They told me we give money to people who complain, but this complaint is not worth any consideration or compensation. I advised the corporate manager that I have not asked for a penny in money. What? I'm asking that they revise their flawed policy and contract, because nowhere in their contract or policy does it state I will be banned from bringing my service dog with me. I was sold the ticket with the knowledge I had a service dog. I was given the all clear and 100% all paperwork filled out for the service dog to board the ship. I was told the service dog is now attached to my C-Pass, and was then told to have a wonderful vacation with my husband and service dog. Why does she need to bring the service dog if her husband is helping her? What does the dog do that her husband can't? I'm just raising questions. Because a lot of these things, it just sounds like this person is a dog nutter using their disability to bring their flea bag with them everywhere. I guess her husband isn't pleasuring her enough. Only to find out that the next day, if I bring her, she can be confiscated and destroyed. I like that word, destroyed. Disney executive resolution to solve this emergency situation that holds the lives of service animals and their handlers in jeopardy. No. Is to email me a copy of the flawed contract. I don't think it's the contract that's flawed. I think it's your handling of your mysterious neurological disability that's the problem. Not change the contract. Not advise customers prior to purchasing tickets of the flawed law that could get your service dog killed. I think the flawed law here is the ADA itself because it's fucking stupid. But to have everything remain the same and give me a copy of the same policy that almost got my service dog killed. The policy I read online, I was told, is from their cruise contract, and the executive told me I could not find it online. I asked him to Google it word for word, and he did not find it online. The policy states I need to provide 72 hours advance notification I was bringing a service dog. And it then states that Disney will not be held responsible for anyone that is refused to get off in ports of countries that require a permit for service animals if you do not obtain all the permits. So this lady is just getting a dose of reality. It's like, what? I have to provide documents and permits? Oh, but I can't. I don't need to do that in America. What is it with these other countries not recognizing service dogs? The fact that other countries don't recognize service dogs kind of tells you a lot about how obsolete they are. I do not hold Disney responsible for me not getting off the ship in a port I did not have a permit for. I do hold them responsible for banning my service dog from getting on board and not informing me of the unwritten rules that almost got my service dog killed. But you know what's funny? If you didn't have a service dog, this wouldn't be an issue. I want to take the time to warn people with service dogs of this unwritten law that Disney abides by. I still do not understand why it's the law of the land. Why do other cruise lines allow the service animal and the handler to remain on board when they don't have the permits? Keep whining. I want to advise people of this emergency situation to prevent the pain and suffering I had to endure. You know, not like the pain and suffering that people with dog allergies need to endure to be around your stupid fucking service mutt. I was told I would lose my $2,000 if I canceled because of their flawed policy and unwritten and spoken law. Or I could leave the service dog home and not be made aware of a neurological episode from my service dog alerting me, and be tortured for 18 days without her not being able to assist me before, during, and after a neurological episode. Do you smell that? It smells like bullshit to me. The people I spoke to at Disney made me feel like they think service dogs are a joke. Yes, because they are a joke. The one person I spoke to in special needs was condescending and asked me, "Can't you do without your service dog for 4 days?" I wondered if this person asks an amputee to do without their prosthetic legs for 4 days, or if they ask the visually impaired person to go without their service dog for 4 days. That is a flawed comparison, because prosthetic legs are not banned from establishments that sell and prepare food. Prosthetic legs are not banned from grocery stores. Prosthetic legs are not banned in basically all public areas like dogs are. Listen, if you've made it this far without your service dog, I'm sure you're gonna be just fine. I really have a hard time believing that these people require a service dog when it seemed like they lived just fine. They'll make up all sorts of excuses like, oh, my life was so undescriptively hard until my service dog came around. I call bullshit. And plus, most blind people don't even have service dogs, so that really tells you something about how worthless they are. I have never been asked to go without my wheelchair, pain pills, muscle pills, cane, walker, or any medical assist device. But when it comes to my service dog, Disney feels like it's okay to go without my need for her medical assistance she provides. Again, wheelchairs, pain pills, muscle pills, canes, and walkers are not banned from public areas. You fucking bitch. These people are so stupid, so it just makes me really happy that these people are getting what's coming to them. They feel like they can trample on the rights of other human beings with their service dog. Well, let's see how they like it. Special Needs did advise me to just bring a manual wheelchair as a resolution. I have a disability in one arm. Try to picture a one-armed person operating a manual wheelchair. Get a motorized wheelchair, you fucking idiot. This, just playing the victim. And I know I can hear it right now, people saying that I'm being ableist and everything. I'm not being ableist. If this person was able to get by just fine, if 99% of all the disabled people in this country don't need a service dog, you're gonna be fine. I would be doing the same thing talking to them was doing, and that would be going around in circles all day getting nowhere. Huh! Yeah, now you know how we feel. I would love to hear others who have taken Disney cruises with service dogs and did not have permits for them. Has anyone traveled with a service dog on Disney Cruise Line, or do they make it impossible for anyone with a service dog to book them? I saw 2 dogs on my Royal Caribbean cruise just recently. I spoke to the owner and he stated that he had no permits and no problems with customs. This makes me feel like the problem is with Disney. After all, they are enforcing a policy that is not in writing and not made verbal. Any thoughts or experiences would be greatly appreciated. And if you are disabled and have a service dog, please be warned after you book and have all the paperwork filled out and have the dog on your sea pass, your dog will be banned from entry. And if you do bring it on board, customs will remove it from the ship. Imports you have no permit for, as per Disney Special Needs. It doesn't matter if you remain on board or not. You are in Bahamas water, and you are considered importing it, and must have a permit to import dogs, even service dogs. So it's like, I just find this whole thing funny, because she's acting like the victim and just outraged that there is all this regulation and all these permits that are required for her service dog. Because, she's not in Kansas anymore. She's not in the land that will let her do whatever she wants whenever she wants with her stupid Mutt. My favorite part, though, out of this stupid post are the comments. They just put a big smile over my face. This person writes, "It actually is your responsibility as the passenger to ensure that both you and your service dog have all of the proper documents for every country you will visit during your cruise. The situation is unfortunate, but you are the one who has to research this." Bam. Love it. Another person writes, "It says here, you are responsible for obtaining the import permits from all countries that require those special documents and must have those original documents available at all times." They provide a link on disneycruise.com. And they have information regarding the Bahamas on pettravel.com. This other person, "I know the Disney company very well, and I find it highly unlikely this scenario played out as described." I love it. I'm not going to go through all these, but I'll put the link in the description. And I hope that this will just be a regular occurrence, as service dogs are seen for exactly what they are, and service dogs are a joke.